studying for my bachelor's degree in a different country. I thought it would be a great way to meet new people and become more independent. The first month went well, and I made a bunch of new friends, including someone we'll call S. S was the kind of girl who always needed attention, but apart from that, she seemed all right. We were part of a big group with around 15 people. One day, S told me she was going on a holiday to my home country and offered to bring back anything I needed. I was happy about it and gave her half of my savings, around $150, for any expenses she might have. My mom even packed a box of homemade food for her. But instead of keeping her word, S took my money and got rid of the food. I lost half of my savings and had nothing to show for it. When I confronted S, she denied our arrangement and told our friends that I was making things up. To make matters worse, she started hanging out with all my friends and began spreading rumors about me. Every time I tried to find new friends, S would follow me and push them away. By the end of my first year of college, I only had less than 3 friends left, and they were also victims of S. It's worth mentioning that S wasn't very academically bright. She cheated on exams and assignments. For the next 3 years, I collected evidence of her plagiarism. Screenshots, voice recordings, and statements from the few people who still talked to me. S also came from a conservative family, but she had a habit of picking up guys and spending nights with them in different hotel rooms. I decided to document this as well. Here's the final twist. The country where I'm studying has an age restriction for getting a bachelor's degree. If you're above a certain age, you can't enroll in certain fields. Now, in our final semester of college, S is beyond that age limit. I sent all the evidence I gathered to everyone in the administration, every professor who taught S, the dean of academics, and her parents. Just yesterday, S was formally expelled from college, and her parents have disowned her. Because of her age, she can't even pursue a degree in her field of interest unless she leaves the country. But her parents want nothing to do with her. I waited for 3 long years, and every second was worth it.
I have a really bad leg. I've had 13 surgeries, so it's been quite a journey. When I started at a new school, I had to go in for another leg procedure after 3 weeks. It wasn't a big deal for me since I had been through it before. When I returned, I had documentation explaining my restrictions and special needs. There were 3 important things. I needed extra time to move between classes, I required someone to accompany me, and I needed unrestricted access to the elevator. These requirements caused some recurring problems. Teachers and security constantly harassed me for being in the halls during class time. They also questioned why my cousin, who was filling in as my escort, was out of class too. Dealing with the first 2 issues was annoying but manageable. The real problem was the elevator. I was told that I couldn't have a personal key due to security reasons. They said it shared the same functionality as the interior door keys. I didn't mind because I was assured that someone would always be on the same floor as my classes to open the elevator for me. However, this turned out to be untrue about 75% of the time. Without elevator access, I was always stuck in the halls while other students went from class to class. As a result, I was consistently late, waiting for someone to come and open the elevator door. Sometimes I even had to wait through the entire lunch period and couldn't afford to eat later due to my absences. After about 3 weeks of this, I was tired of missing out on lunch, so I did something really foolish. I decided to use the stairs even though I was using a walker, not crutches. About halfway down, I fell hard. It happened when lunch was ending, and thankfully one of my friends found me, got help to pick me up, and carried me to the office. Another friend went to find my other cousin, the usual escort, who wasn't there because of illness. I couldn't bear the thought of a stranger escorting me. When my cousin arrived at the office, they managed to calm me down and get my mother's number. My mother has a hot temper, but she usually keeps a level head. When she heard I had fallen, she rushed to the school in record time. As soon as she arrived, she demanded to see the principal and vice principal immediately. She gave them an earful that no kid should hear, let alone adults. When the vice principal made an insensitive remark about my condition, my mother's anger escalated. Local sheriffs who provided school security quickly intervened as my mother went after the VP. We were escorted out, and after looking at the file, they realized that my cousin and I didn't actually live at the address listed. It was my grandmother's address since she looked after me until around 8 p.m. and raised my cousin too. Using this as grounds, they expelled me, saying, "I can be some other school's problem now." I had to enroll in the school near my house. Unfortunately, I had to undergo another surgery to fix the damage caused by my fall and redo the previous procedure. We gathered statements from teachers and doctors, and my parents decided to file a lawsuit against the VP and principal and the county school board. A lawyer who had successfully challenged our school board before offered to take our case pro bono. He was tired of dealing with the board and believed this case would force them to address their issues. Fast forward 9 months, and I walked out of court with a settlement to cover all my procedures. The school also agreed to undergo a complete administrative overhaul. The principal and VP lost their jobs and had their administrative credentials revoked in our state. On my first day at my new school, the superintendent and the head of the State Board of Education informed them about my medical requirements and my need for a personal elevator key.
In my final trimester of high school, we were assigned a group project that accounted for a significant portion of our grade. I was paired up with a classmate who happened to be the biggest jerk in the class. He was entitled and arrogant, always finding excuses to avoid working on the project together. Despite my attempts to seek help from the teacher, I was told to figure it out on my own. Eventually, I stopped scheduling work meetings altogether. Whenever he called to ask about the progress, I would give vague answers like, "It's going well," or "almost finished." Little did he know, I had a secret plan. Since I was already doing well in the class and had secured a good grade, I decided to throw away all the work for the project and keep my partner in the dark. He relied on me to pass the class, but I knew he had much more at stake than I did. With the deadline approaching, he requested the presentation so he could prepare his part. I managed to delay him for a few days, but eventually, I sent him a file that appeared to be the presentation, but was actually an altered MP3 file. The next day, I turned off my phone and claimed technical issues when he tried to contact me. In the evening, I called him back and assured him that I would fix the PowerPoint. I agreed to meet him at school early in the morning to practice before our presentation. On the day of the presentation, I arrived at school just before 9 a.m., purposely avoiding any contact with my partner. As he approached me with a mix of panic and anger, we were called into the room to meet the jury. I told him not to worry and took charge of the presentation. I began the introduction by addressing the jury, saying, "Today, instead of presenting our project, I have decided to take a different approach. Since I have already secured enough points to pass the class, and my partner here couldn't be bothered to contribute, I thought we could all enjoy a day off. Thank you for your attention." With that, I walked out, leaving 4 confused teachers and 1 dumbfounded partner behind. Naturally, there were some consequences in the following days. The teacher requested an explanation, but ultimately recognized my track record as a good student, and the fact that I had already passed the class. As for my partner, he was furious about having to retake the exam over the summer due to his poor grades. All in all, I was glad to have graduated and looked forward to starting college the following year. During the summer break, I heard from friends that karma had caught up with my partner. He had failed his re-exam and was forced to repeat the last year. Justice had been served.
Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you.